Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to put together our free SVG, the Crazy Pumpkin box from Simply Crafty SVGs. So it's pretty quick. There's just a little bit of piecing and putting together the box. So we have all these little pieces. So I went ahead and printed and cut the actual box pieces. The box pieces and the nose are the same color. In this case it wasn't. I just forgot to print and cut it. But I had some solid orange that looked pretty good, so I figured I'll just use a little piece of that orange. Because I don't like the white showing on a white piece of cardstock that's been printed and cut, I'm going to ink all the edges. And I'm also inking where I folded, so when you fold on the score lines, I actually cut the dashed lines, which I normally don't do. If you ever watch our videos, I usually do solid score lines, but in this case, I mean, even if I did, the white would show through and I'd ink it, but it does hide that as well. So that's a color box chalk ink. I'm going to add this back black piece, so the texture side is going towards the front. You just want to add a little bit of glue on the box piece so you can go around the open edges. Just be careful not to get too close to that bottom edge. I made that panel just a smidgen shorter so it would fit in without having any kind of buckling at the bottom there. So you're just going to match it up to the shape, to the pumpkin head shape. And this is just a design that I just been wanting to do something a little bit different, so I was just playing around with it. And sometimes when I play around with things, they become freebies. This is purposely a freebie, but I don't know. I'm a big fan of animation, so, and kind of crazy smiley things, so I just thought this would be fun. It's a fun little treat box too. So we're going to put that piece on. So you just go ahead and put glue on that tab. And also you could glue it to the bottom as well. And I wouldn't be holding the pin like I do. That pin's to put on my glue bottle, so I'm going to go place it to the right there. And then just lining up that bottom edge to the tab fold. And again, you could put the tab on the bottom because hardly anybody's going to see it. So I'm assuming if you're making a treat box, you're going to put treats in it. So they're not going to see it on the side either until it's empty. And just make sure your mat is clean too, because I had a little glue remnants showing. So now these little tabs, they're simply going to glue on the inside. But first, let me go ahead and put on this stem. So I'm not putting on the rest of it because I'm using foam tape to pop them up. So that's up to you whether you want to put them on, but you can, if you're not doing what I'm doing, it's just easier to deal with the flat box on the front. So I piece these together, but I'm not going to put them on until after I have the box together. But if they were just flat, if you're not going to use foam tape, then you could just put them on now rather than later. And I'm just lining that piece up. When you piece, just kind of get to an edge, because we don't want glue to show any of the open edges. And then I'm going to take a little charcoal chalk ink to get the edges so I can get rid of that white being so glaring on the edge. And I use this little white gel pen, a Sakura gel pen, to do the eyes, just to put little eye accents on. So when you put it, if you do that like I do, or you can always do it last too, I just have to situate it knowing how I'm going to put the eyes. This would be a cute, I never really do a whole lot of, because I try to use my own cuts, and I have a bunch of googly eyes that I have. And you know, this would be a cute application for the use of googly eyes, because we know we can get, in the US at least, you can get them at the dollar stores here. So I'm putting little foam tape on the back of these to get ready for when I'm ready to put them on. The mouth already had it. So it's pretty simple how you do this. This is the same on all 4 sides. Just add glue to those 2 tabs and then just line them up to the face edges. The pumpkin face edges. So if you can kind of get them in place, and then you could always put it on the side like that to get it a little bit more, you can see from the side that it's in place. You could push it in a little bit further, but I'm going to just kind of, if there's, I realize that when we're putting these tabs in here, we see these white tabs against that black, and it would be, if it were a solid cardstock, it would be orange. Well, just realize I do have, if you don't care, like I said, it's a treat box. So most treat boxes, you put something in it so you're not going to see these tabs. But a lot of people are bothered by things like this, so I do have inside panels to put in after you put it together on the front and back to make them black and consistent looking, and it hides those tabs. But if you don't care about it, you don't need to cut them out. But if you do care about it, you got to be careful how you put these edges in. Otherwise the panels won't fit. I made them so I have a little bit of leeway on the left and right, but it will be tight. You can always trim it if you needed to too. When we get to that part, I'll talk about it again. So once I get it lined up, just flip it over, apply pressure. And you could also, if it's still wet, further line it up by looking from the side. You can't see it on the video, but I could see it from the side of how lined up it was. So once we get this, I'm just going to go ahead and ink the edges again, because there's a little bit more white showing, just to make it a little bit more distressed. Then we'll add the face. So I kind of wanted to look a little bit crazy, that's the name Crazy Pumpkin Box. So I'm kind of offsetting the eyes a little bit. That's why the black in the back. And then the eyeballs are kind of offset a little bit, like they're wobbling in their head. And then the nose, it would probably make sense to people that are very symmetrical. I'm going to put some foam tape on the back of this. But I didn't make it the same shade as the nose and the back. So just place it however. It's not meant to be perfect. It's meant to be kind of wonky or quirky. So just place it, kind of offset it. And most likely when you cut this out, like I said, the orange will be the same. That nose would be the same color as the actual box. Then again, I have this popped up. And then just put it right in the little face area, and so the black shows a little bit around it. And that's it. Now we just want to add those optional inside panels. So if you don't care about this, you don't have to add them. But some people just don't like that look of the tabs, so let's go ahead and hide them real quick. So just they're sized the same way on the front and back. You might choose just to do it on the front. I mean, or not at all. Like I said, if it were me and I were giving them as gifts, I would just, I wouldn't care. I'd just fill it with candy or nuts or whatever you were doing. As I used to do that when I worked in a corporate environment. I would bring things like this to work. Obviously, I mostly work with myself and my dogs and my other half, so it's not many treat boxes I do anymore for work. But I did enjoy doing that. It's always fun coming to work. They think you're a genius. You come in and you bring these things. They're like, those are great. How'd you do them? And then I just tell them I found a pattern and cut it out. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this little project. And it is free. Just go and download it from simplycraftysvgs.com. If you do like this project, please like this video, and I thank you so much for watching.